Senator Natasha is already gaining victory over Akpabio. That is why the camp of Akpabio have been restless. Akpabio himself must be surprised with the way this whole court matter, as he has been trying to suppress Natasha, maybe because she is a woman and one out of the only 4 senators, female senators in the Senate. Yet Natasha has kept gaining more ground, because today the matter was handled in court, and it appears that Natasha and her team is winning the battle. Natasha and her team are on the game, and they are seriously, outrunning Akpabio and his team. Let us look at what is going on and the way Natasha challenges court jurisdiction, slams federal government for abuse of power, political witch hunt. This one is reaching both federal government, this one is reaching both Tinubu, this one is reaching all those that are against these female politicians coming out to represent their people. They have, the Kogi Central people, millions of them have been disenfranchised because other segments of Nigeria are being represented, yet Kogi is not being represented in the Senate because Akpabio doesn't want Natasha in the Senate. Let's look at what happened in court today. Natasha challenges court jurisdiction, slams federal government for abuse of power and political witch hunt. That federal government, of course, federal government is led by Mr. Tinubu, who we gathered is the president of Nigeria. That she is also one of those witch hunting Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan has launched a legal offensive against the federal government, describing the criminal defamation charges filed against her as a brazen attempt at political persecution. Right? So Natasha has launched an offensive against Akpabio. So Akpabio is in more trouble right now. Legal battle, legal trouble. We must move on because this news just dropped just a few minutes ago. And of course, here in Noble Media, we are here to give you the news as it drops. Filing preliminary objections before both the Federal High Court, Federal Court of the Federal Capital Territory, and the Federal High Court. So Natasha filed her case both in 2 courts against Akpabio. Federal Court of the Federal Capital Territory, that is Abuja, and the Federal High Court. The senators' legal team insists that the prosecutions initiated following complaints by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former Governor Yahaya Bello, because Yahaya Bello is teaming up with Akpabio against one person. Who is that person? This woman, Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Can you imagine? Former governor of Kogi State, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and the current Senate President, that is Akpabio. These 2 former governors is coming together with the federal might and everything against one person, one woman, Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to keep standing for truth. If you stand for Natasha, type under the comment, Akpabio, restore Natasha. Yahaya Bello, leave Natasha alone. Akpabio, restore Natasha to her rightful position. Because the Senate is not the property of anybody. Initiating following complaint by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former Governor Yahaya Bello are unconstitutional, frivolous, and designed to intimidate opposition voices. Let's take it again. The senators' legal team insists that the prosecution initiated following complaints by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former Governor Yahaya Bello are unconstitutional, frivolous, and designated to intimidate opposing voices. We must move on. The charges filed following petition by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former Governor Yahaya Bello stem from statements allegedly made by the senator. Akpoti Uduaghan's legal team, led by 4 senior advocates. Look at the charges filed following petition by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Governor Akpabio stem from statement allegedly made by the senator, that is Akpoti Udahan. Akpoti Udahan's legal team, led by 4 senior advocates of Nigeria, that is SAN, contends that the prosecutions are unconstitutional and aimed at shielding the private reputation of the complainants rather than protecting public interest or national security. Yes, these senior advocates of Nigeria that are defending Natasha, that is 4 of them, they are saying that the courts are bent on protecting the image of Yahaya Bello. By the way, EFCC have been trying to capture Yahaya Bello and they have not succeeded. Can you imagine? One man that has evaded a federal anti-graft agency, the almighty Yahaya Bello. Right? 2 of them. That the courts are trying everything to protect the image of Yahaya Bello and protect the image of Akpabio against the constitution, against the interests of the public, especially against the interests of Kogi Central people, millions of them. Okay? Her counsel submitted exhibits demonstrating that the statements fall within public discourse and media commentary, that whatever they are accusing Natasha of having said against Akpabio and Natasha, that all those statements fall within public discourse and media commentary. If you think Natasha is wrong in all this, if you think Natasha is using her feminine power against the almighty Akpabio, against the former governor Yahaya Bello, let us know. If you think that she is taking advantage of her beauty or her position against the, let us know. But if you think that she is being witch hunted by these powerful men, don't fail to speak out, especially if you're a woman. Don't fail to speak out, whether you are in Nigeria. In fact, let us know where you are commenting from, where you are watching from, whether in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. It's very, very important that, because voices have been speaking for her both from Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Central to the senator's objection is the argument that the AGF, Attorney General of the Federation, lacks local standing to prosecute defamation on behalf of private individuals, because this one is not on behalf of the federal government, it's on behalf of Akpabio and his partner, his brother Yahaya Bello. Her lawyers, that is Akpoti Udahan's lawyers, assert that defamation matters are inherently civil in nature and that attempting to criminalize, because they're saying that the thing she says is a criminal offense, not even a civil offense. Can you imagine that? Are civil in nature, and that attempting to criminalize them constitutes intimidation, suppresses free speech, and represent a misuse of the criminal justice system. Look at the 3 things they are trying to do: intimidating her, suppressing free speech, and represent a misuse of criminal justice system. Let us continue. Senator Natasha further contends that the charges were brought without proper investigation. Contrasting sharply with her own petitions alleging threats to her life by the complainants, which she claimed were ignored. Yes, Natasha has come out to the court and say, claiming that Akpabio and Yahaya Bello are conniving to kill her in Kogi State. The court did not want to look at that. The court did not pay attention to that. But it is the one that Yahaya Bello and Akpabio are presenting to the court that the courts want to pay attention to. She argued that this selective enforcement violates her constitutional right, particularly Section 42, and represents discriminatory prosecution because of her opposition political affiliation. Yes, Natasha is of the PDP, a different political party, right? Why Akpabio, Yahaya Bello, Tinubu, and co. are of the APC, and people have said they want her to leave PDP and join them. They want her to maybe push her out of her position so that Yahaya Bello will now take over. Can you imagine what is going on over there in Nigeria? In conclusion, the senators' defense team, comprising Professor Roland Otaru, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. E. Wells Idahosa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, J.J. Usman, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and M.J. Numa all of them senior advocates of Nigeria, suggest the courts to dismiss the cases at the preliminary stage, warning that allowing the prosecution to proceed would undermine the integrity of the justice system and waste taxpayers' resources. Because if this matter keeps dragging, it will be taxpayers' monies and all the rest that will be used to move from one court case to the other, adjourn the court, pay the lawyers and all the rest. They are urging them quash this case and urge Akpabio to restore her. Let her come back to the Senate. Let her be allowed to represent her constituent, because she was duly elected by her people. You that has watched this video, let us know what you think in the comment section. Like this video and ensure that you type Akpabio and Yahaya Bello, leave Natasha alone. Akpabio and Yahaya Bello, leave Natasha alone. Most importantly, there's another important video on the screen we are giving to you right now. Click on it and watch now.